Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Grapplers Academy. Back again, going to talk about some concepts from side control, but more specifically today kind of looking at the ideas of what happens when you're not able to hit a full re-guard from side control and you end up in half guard.
Yeah, because usually as you're trying to sort of recover some sort of guard from side control, the top player is constantly trying to progress forward and stop this re-guard from happening. So if you're not wanting to go back to full guard, it could be the perfect opportunity for you to end up in half guard and start attacking from there.
Sometimes you get it where a guy's coming in strong and they really want to put that cross pressure on your face, and sometimes being able to get to half guard and just put the frames in using your knee shield to create a frame opens up a little bit of a space and gives you a breather where you've just been being crushed under side control a lot and you're not fully able to get that close guard for a complete break from the situation, but you can buy yourself a little bit of time and start thinking about a strategy to get yourself up and away from there. So if we're looking at it from a point of view of escaping from the side control into a full re-guard, like we talked about here before, getting the frames in and being able to move the hips, as we talked about with the frame on the hip and the frame on the inside of the neck and the shoulder, is the first thing that we want to be doing to free up those hips. That allows us the opportunity to bring the knee in and start framing out and getting your escapes this way. Ordinarily what we'd like to do is get all the way across the opposite side of the hip and come back to a full close guard. Sometimes because of the pressure that the guy is giving on top, it's quite difficult to create that space fully. So what you might find if they're continuing to push in and I'm bringing that in, that you might get your legs stuffed on the inside into a half guard situation. And this is fine, it gets us out of that side control, horrible pressure from the top, especially if the guy's heavy or if they've got really good control or can keep good grips on a gable grip and keep you squeezing in. That pressure with the shoulder can be nasty and we want to get out of there. So when we get to here, we're going to use this opportunity to start bringing in our free knee while there's still some space on the hip. And bring that either, we've got two options, we can either bring that in across the hip, which one allows me to straighten out and give me some space there to start thinking about defending or attacking, or the other way you can play it is up on the shoulder as well, with a frame on the hip. Both have their advantages. This one allows me the options to sit up and start looking at back takes or sweeps, and this one's a great one for just applying pressure and allowing you to get a little bit of space and a bit of a break from here. But the concepts are the same on both. It's being rigid with the knee on the opponent's hip or on the shoulder and just stopping them from pressuring in. So if side's really driving into me there and I've got this shield, it doesn't take a lot of energy for me to clamp down on this and keep them at bay. Similarly with this one, so if he's driving in as well, I'm giving myself that space to think and try and find an opportunity to escape from the situation. But it's a good one that works well with just buying you a little bit of time to get a breather and then start thinking about your next attack.
Yeah, definitely. Another little key detail for the hip one is Bond does a really good job of getting underneath that bottom rib. So it's not just directly into the hip bone, it's kind of underneath the bottom rib, which makes it a bit more uncomfortable if you are trying to drive in and apply a bit more pressure as well from the top.
There's two kind of pressures, isn't it? It's like a downward force,
yeah,
clamping on the leg, but also pushing into the sternum as well,
yeah,
underneath the rib, as Si says. And again, both of those things hit from the same way as when somebody's applying pressure from the top. It just puts enough force and a block in place for them to think and have to think their way around the problem, rather than being able to continue to drive into you and just dominate their game onto you.
If you want to make sure you want to hit us up on all the socials, Bonafide PTs, coached by Si, and we're the Grapplers Academy. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, drop a comment below with anything you want us to see, want us to go through, and yeah, we'll see you next week.